The Duke of Sussex is in the process of taking legal action against the UK government in order to allow him to pay for the protection of the Metropolitan Police. He is said to want to visit his family in the UK, but does not currently have sufficient security in place to allow him to make the journey. Harry and Meghan Markle lost their right to taxpayer-funded security when they stepped back from their royal roles in 2020, since having footed the bill for their own protection in the US. One of the royal duties closest to him during his time with the firm was visiting, defending and representing military veterans, the Duke having himself served in the army. In December 2021, he wrote a personal letter to the family of Nathan Hunt, who are fighting to get their son's name on the National Armed Forces Memorial after he took his own life in 2018. Although he was a warrant officer when he died, defense bosses have said his name cannot be added to the commemoration for fallen soldiers. Harry told his parents Maria and Derek, "I deeply empathize with what your family is going through and so wish I could assist formally, had I been in the same role I once was." He added, "Grief can be a long and burdensome road. Please know that you and your family remain in my thoughts." Zoe Forsey, the current host of Pod Save the Queen, and Russell Myers, the Daily Mirror's royal editor, in December discussed Harry's reaching out to the family and how it may be a sign of his future role in relation to the military and its veterans. Speaking during the podcast, Ms. Forsey said, "It's things like this that make it look like Harry is really realizing that he can't do stuff like that anymore, but he's still making the effort to contact people to share his feelings and offer his sympathies, which I think is the better side of Harry that people have loved and they miss." Mr. Myers suggested there could be a role for Harry in this field going forward, and said, "Listen, I think this sort of tells you where Harry's head is at quite a lot. By saying that, I wish I could do more. Undoubtedly he has been very affected by losing those military appointments, but that doesn't stop him reaching out to people he's heard of. It doesn't stop him attending Veterans Day memorial services in New York or wherever else in the US. And I think there certainly will be a place for him back here at some stage to get involved with the UK military and veteran associations. They would really appreciate him being more involved, and I think once the dust has settled, possibly in the future, that's something we'll see more of him in. We've got Invictus Games coming up next April in The Hague, so watch this space." Harry, on losing his military titles, is said to have been devastated. Because he stood down from his royal role, he was stripped of his honorary royal titles, including Honorary Air Commandant of RAF Honington in Suffolk, Commodore-in-Chief, Small Ships, and Diving, Royal Naval Command, and Captain General of the Royal Marines. But while his titles were taken away, he holds on to fond memories of serving his country on the front line. The Duke undertook 2 tours of Afghanistan, the first in 2008 and the second in 2012. A now famous interview during his second stint, where he served as a helicopter co-pilot and gunner, saw him cut short the exchange after being called to action. He previously said that being in the army was among the happiest times of his life, as the career made him feel less like a member of the royal family. Another news, the Queen is unlikely to deliver a speech to the British public when she passes her Platinum Jubilee, according to a royal insider. Her Majesty, who will officially celebrate her 70-year reign on 6th of February, is instead expected to spend the historic day in somber reflection at Sandringham House. The poignant date marks both her 1952 ascension to the throne and the anniversary of the death of her father, King George VI, making it an emotionally charged occasion for the grieving monarch. There will be no broadcast to the nation. For Her Majesty, who will be 96 in April, it will be a day in quiet, somber reflection, royal author Robert Jobson told. The Queen flew by helicopter from Windsor Castle to Sandringham last week, after being forced to cancel her highly anticipated Christmas celebrations at the Norfolk estate due to rising COVID-19 rates in late December. She is understood to be staying at the property's secluded wood farm, a 5-bedroom cottage that was home to Prince Philip for most of his retirement. It's believed that she will reside at Sandringham for a few weeks, keeping with her tradition of remaining at the 20,000-acre estate until her father's anniversary. The day is bound to bring up painful memories for the Queen, who was just 25 when King George VI died suddenly after undergoing lung surgery. "I've lost count of how many times I've been asked, first as a reporter, then as a former press secretary and now as a royal commentator, how the Queen celebrates the anniversary of her accession," Her Majesty's former press spokesperson, Dickie Arbiter, said. "My answer has always been the same: you don't celebrate the death of your father.